all right? And they are ideas that reside in other people's minds. We don't own reputations. I have wonderful conversations with patent attorneys about this. You cannot legally protect an idea that resides in someone else's mind. Can't do it. Okay? So this is brand reputations. Brands are exactly the same. All of those factors count, and they're massively important. They're not just, it would be nice to do that stuff. That is what a brand's about. And some businesses get it right. Harley Davidson, Apple, they understand brand reputations. So you don't own it. So you've got to get past this idea that we can force people to think certain things about it, because they won't. Harley Davidson is a wonderful example, I think, of a brand with high emotional attachment. See, there's no, I mean, again, I say this all the time, nobody needs you. If our businesses folded today, the world would not probably even sigh, sadly. So it's about want factors, not need factors. So the critical issue is, how do you make people want your products and services? Harley is one of the worst performing motorbikes on the market. They're about twice the price of a Japanese bike that goes a heck of a lot faster. So performance and cost, Harleys don't win out, but there's a waiting list for Harleys. Well, why do you think that is? People want Harley Davidsons because it's socially, because it says something about who they are. It's the rebel in you. You know, I've got a friend of mine up in Auckland. He bought one of those and he had a little apartment, and he couldn't leave it parked on the road because it was going to get stolen. So he wheeled it into his lounge, can you believe it? It was a bloody motorbike in the middle of the lounge. By the way, just broken up, so with his wife, so maybe that tells you a lot. But anyway, here he is with this huge Harley Davidson parked in the middle of the lounge, and the thing's dripping oil on the carpet. And I pointed it out to him, you know, this great Harley Davidson that he's paid 30 grand for. And he said, it's not leaking oil, it's making its mark. So, and if you actually have a look at Harley literature, you'll find them using that sort of language. Every bike has a bloodline, they say. You know, it's like horse flesh, isn't it? So they're actually building the myth, they're building the legend. It's incredible, and they do it extraordinarily well. As a result, people get Harley tattooed on their arms, and, you know, people buy into it emotionally. An interesting thing, conventional way of segmenting a marketplace. If you were to try and segment a Harley audience, what do you think you would find? They're all over the place. School teachers, gang members, lawyers. So that is the segment. That is Harley Davidson is the segment. The brand is the segment. If you get your branding right, you can get into it converts. Okay, Red Bull, same thing. You know, this is a remarkable product. They didn't advertise in Germany when this product hit the market. They had a sort of Patricia Bartlett type character that reckoned there were drugs in the drink. And what happened was there was a heck of a kerfuffle about it. Red Bull said nothing. And as a result, the controversy raged and Red Bull became famous. So it's a great story, that one. Anyone know who this guy is? Surely. Rumble. Yes, Pete Rumble. What Pete doesn't know about wine isn't worth knowing. I often take clients down to Pete's wine cellar. It's down Midland Park in the Dunbar Sloan building. Go and have a look at it. If you've got a wet afternoon, and you want a bit of entertainment, go down and have a look at Pete's wine cellar. It's truly remarkable. Not slick, but it is really clever. What he does is he rips the ends off cartons of wine that come in, and he'll stick a notice and he'll hand write on it. Totally authentic. And he'll just write little messages. You can spend an afternoon down there just reading little messages about wine. You know, things like, this is a crap wine, but if you like crap wine, this is the best crap wine you can buy. So, you know, like you feel like he's actually talking to you. So a brand is an experience. You know, the place is musty and sort of totally overloaded. It speaks to us when we go down there. All right, the intuitive side of our brain says, yep, this makes sense. It's not contrived. It's for real. Okay, brands is experience. Brands also about profit. That bottle of water sells in London hotels for about $30. I think you can get it here in New Zealand for about $5. But there are some markets, again, where they've figured out they can actually earn more money with it. I'm just going to show you a quick little case study. Anyone here have Cyclops yogurt? Had Cyclops yogurt before? Yep, you like it? Yeah. So it's a little bit different than what I call lolly yogurt because it's got a sort of a sharp, tangy taste. It's what they call European style yogurt. When I first met Jim Small in Christchurch, that's what his container looked like. He was selling a few to supermarkets down there. Believe it or not, he started off by making it in his mum's washing machine. I'm pleased to say that he's gone beyond that now. That life's a bit better. So what we did is we made a few changes. And it's still the same yogurt, by the way. Yogurt hasn't changed. It's still a fantastic product that Jim made. What we did is we put it into an American ice cream bottle. And no one else had a container like this. Well, we also discovered, and again, this is another good reason why you should go and find out about what your audience is like. People like to see fresh produce. Love to see it. Love to be able to look at it. So we said, well, why not? Let's not cover it up with a label. Let's make sure that people can see what's in there. Colour-coded lids. So all the flavours have got different colours. Product revealed. Fruit toppings. Jim used to whip the fruit topping into the actual yogurt. So people love to play with their food. We're terrible. Adults are just as bad as kids. So we said, leave the fruit on top and let people do what they like. They can eat it all at once, or they can eat the white stuff first and then eat the fruit, or they can stir it all up. So what we've done is turn a product into an experience. Okay? Let people engage with your product. And we created a label which is a little bit different to the other one. Okay, what was the result of all that? 67% increase in sales in the first 18 months. And I hasten to say we had no budget to be able to advertise the product. And this happened by word of mouth. Word of mouth. It is now the most expensive product in its category. And when you're in a supermarket, if anyone around here knows anything about the way supermarkets operate, they look after you. Why would they look after you? There's more profit, yeah. So what I can say about Jim's product is he may not sell the most yogurt, but he's the most profitable yogurt in the marketplace, and the supermarkets look after him. No advertising or promotions, axing of line extensions. One of the terrible things that entrepreneurs tend to do is they try to do everything, and sometimes you just got to narrow the focus down and get right, a couple of things first. And today we've got growth of new variants. They've now got a frozen yogurt. And we're about to release a product called Ambrosia. Anyone here know what Ambrosia is? Yeah. So that is to die for, I tell you. If you like Cyclops, you're going to love Ambrosia. Okay. Increased profits. But beware of the imitators. This is an international brand copying Jim. Okay. So even here, a little. Sorry?
Can you only buy them in Christchurch?
What's that?
The yogurt.
No, nationwide. Yeah, and now going into Australia and the States. Yep. So what we call the innovation cascade. What's going to happen? People are going to watch what you do. What's the best way of protecting a brand? Again, this is the argument I have with the patent attorneys, because I'm going to show you now a case where the brand was trademarked, legally protected, and they lost the use of their name. Okay? Innovate. Keep staying ahead of the pack. By the time they've figured out where you are, you're on doing something else. Okay, blackwater rafting. Anyone been up to Waitoma and been blackwater rafting? Yep, enjoy it? Yeah. A lot of fun. Scary? Oh. Okay. When they'd lost this court case. They'd had a court case. Their competitors had taken them to court because they were using the term blackwater rafting, which had become an industry generic term for cave tubing. It should have been called cave tubing, but everyone wanted to call it blackwater rafting because our client was so successful. They pioneered the sport. That was the name of their business, blackwater rafting, and everyone called it blackwater rafting. When they went to court, the judge says, you're right. To their competitors, 4 competitors, you're right. You should be allowed to call it blackwater rafting. So they lost the use of their name. Registered, trademarked, legally protected name. Can you imagine what they spent in court defending it? So they had to make a decision. Are we going to go back in court and try to defend that, or should we do something differently? So we said to them, well, listen, there's probably other ways of protecting the brand. And anyway, in one sense, it's a bit flattering to know that everyone wants to use your name. When we went there, they had 3 products, Blackwater 1, Blackwater 2 and the Dry Trip. Now the Dry Trip is probably the best of those